Division 13, File number 1952-A-883, Project Yucca Harmonics, declassified in 1997, partial release. Audio transcription for archive preservation.
This is Archivist Daniel Hoffman, National Archives, Annex 7, College Park, Maryland. Date is November 14, 1997. I'm processing declassified materials from Atomic Energy Commission Box 447B, released under FOIA Request 97-3341. This box contains 6 documents related to AEC, file number 1952-A-883, partial declassification approved October 1997. Certain sections remain classified per Executive Order 12,958. I will note redactions as they appear. Beginning transcription. Document 1. United States Atomic Energy Commission Archaeological Survey Report. Nevada Test Site, Area 9, Sector 12. Date, March 18, 1952. Submitted by Dr. Robert Kelsey, Archaeological Services Division, CC. AEC Safety Division, Smithsonian Institution. Subject, Pre-Test Site Clearance, Operation Tumbler Snapper Series. In accordance with AEC Protocol 14B, archaeological survey of proposed test site Yucca Flat Sector 12 was conducted March 12 to 17, 1952. Survey area encompasses 4.2 square miles, elevation 3,900 feet. Site assessment. Area shows evidence of prehistoric inhabitation, primarily ancestral Puebloan period, circa 1100 to 1300 CE. Surface scatter includes pottery fragments, lithic debris, fire-cracked rock. No structural remains visible. During excavation of survey trench ST-09, coordinates redacted, unusual artifact recovered at depth 2.1 meters below expected cultural stratum. Artifact description follows. Object, irregular spheroid, approximately 18 centimeters maximum diameter, 14 centimeters minimum. Mass, 4.7 kilograms. Surface, matte black, non-reflective, smooth to touch. No visible seams, tool marks, or decorative elements. Temperature upon recovery, 23.8 degrees Celsius. Ambient temperature, 20.1 degrees Celsius. Temperature differential persisted during transport. Material analysis attempted on-site using standard field methods. Object non-magnetic. Does not respond to scratch test. Neither stone nor metal characteristics. Surface does not accept water or dust adherence. Preliminary assessment. Material composition unknown. Age determination inconclusive. Stratum suggests 800 plus years, but preservation state inconsistent with any known material degradation pattern. Recommendation. Artifact transferred to Smithsonian Institution for laboratory analysis per standing protocols. Site cleared for scheduled test operations. Artifact cataloged. AEC-NTS-1952-009. Currently in transport to Washington, D.C. Survey complete. Signed, Dr. Robert Kelsey, Ph.D., Archaeological Services Division. Document 2. United States Atomic Energy Commission Test Authorization Memorandum, Operation Tumbler Snapper, Shot Baker. Date, April 10, 1952. Authorization, AEC-DOD Joint Committee. Site, Nevada Test Site, Area 9, Yucca Flat. Shot designation, Baker. Test type, atmospheric detonation, tower-mounted device. Scheduled detonation, April 15, 1952, 0930 hours. Yield, redacted, kilotons. Device configuration, redacted. Personnel safety protocols authorized and implemented per AEC Standard 7. Exclusion zone established. Radius 12 miles. Observation posts staffed. Instrumentation confirmed operational. Weather conditions favorable. Wind patterns acceptable for fallout dispersal. Test authorized to proceed as scheduled. Signed, Gordon Dean, Chairman, Atomic Energy Commission. Document 3. United States Atomic Energy Commission Post-Test Incident Report. Operation Tumbler Snapper, Shot Baker. Date, April 17, 1952. Submitted by Captain James Morris, Site Safety Officer. Priority, urgent. Subject, anomalous acoustic phenomenon, Sector 12. Shot Baker detonated successfully April 15, 1952, 0932 hours. Yield within expected parameters. Radiation surveys normal. No immediate safety violations. At 1647 hours, April 16th, approximately 31 hours post-detonation, observation post personnel reported persistent acoustic disturbance emanating from test site vicinity. Initial assumption, structural damage creating wind resonance. Site inspection team dispatched 1820 hours. Team leader Lieutenant David Blake reports following. Sound confirmed. Continuous tone. Frequency measured at 147 Hz using portable field equipment. Non-degrading amplitude. Source location uncertain. Appears to emanate from subsurface or diffuse area rather than single point. Epicenter approximates coordinates, redacted, within 200 meters of ground zero. Additional concern. 7 personnel stationed at observation post OP9, distance 1.2 miles from epicenter, report subjective auditory experiences not consistent with measured 147 Hz tone. Descriptions vary. Musical quality, multiple pitches, rhythmic patterns. Medical evaluation requested for all exposed personnel. Phenomenon ongoing as of this report, 52+ hours post-detonation. Cause unknown. Recommend acoustic analysis team from Los Alamos and medical consultation for exposed personnel. Signed, Captain James Morris, Site Safety Officer, Nevada Test Site. Document 4. Los Alamos National Laboratory Medical Evaluation Report. Project Yucca Harmonics. Date, May 2, 1952. Submitted by Dr. Helen Vasquez, MD, Occupational Medicine. Security classification, confidential. Subject, clinical assessment of personnel exposed to acoustic anomaly. 7 personnel from observation post OP9 evaluated following prolonged exposure to anomalous acoustic phenomenon, Yucca Flat, Sector 12. Exposure duration ranged 18 to 41 hours during April 16th to 18th, 1952. Physical examinations unremarkable. Standard audiometric testing shows no hearing damage, no radiation exposure above background levels. Psychiatric evaluation reveals consistent pattern of subjective auditory experiences distinct from measured 147 Hz phenomenon. Subject A, male, 31, corporal. It wasn't just a hum. There were layers, like someone playing a flute. Subject C, male, 27, private. Drums. I kept hearing drums underneath it. Slow rhythm like ceremonial music. Subject E, female, 29, technician. The sound had a pattern. It repeated every few minutes. Subject F, male, 35, sergeant. Pipes. Church organ quality. Made my teeth hurt. All subjects report symptoms began 4 to 8 hours after initial exposure. All report difficulty sleeping while phenomenon audible. Subjects describe the sound as intrusive, compelling attention, impossible to ignore. 3 subjects developed acute anxiety symptoms requiring short-term sedation. Subjects C and E requested immediate transfer from test site. Requests granted. Psychological assessment. No evidence of mass hysteria or suggestion. Subjects were isolated during initial exposure and provided independent, consistent descriptions without prior communication. Working hypothesis. unknown neurological or psychological effect triggered by prolonged exposure to specific frequency, possibly in combination with other environmental factors. Recommendation: no further personnel exposure without controlled study protocol. Suggest coordination with REDACTED, Research Division for Specialized Assessment. Signed, Dr. Helen Vasquez, MD, Los Alamos Occupational Medicine. Document 5. Los Alamos National Laboratory Research Protocol Summary. Yucca Harmonics. Exposure Study. Date: June 8, 1952. Principal Investigator, Dr. Marcus Webb, Behavioral Sciences Division. Security Classification: Secret. Page 1 of 3. Subject: Controlled Acoustic Exposure Protocol. Results and termination. Following preliminary findings from OP9 personnel evaluation, Controlled Exposure Study authorized May 15, 1952, to determine psychological and physiological effects of prolonged proximity to acoustic phenomenon, Yucca Flat Sector 12. Volunteer subjects: 12 military and civilian personnel, medically cleared, security clearance verified. All subjects briefed on nature of study and signed consent forms per Wilson Memorandum Protocols. Study design: graduated exposure in observation shelter constructed 800 meters from phenomenon epicenter. Subjects exposed individually in soundproof chamber with controlled acoustic relay. Exposure durations: 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. Concurrent action: during study preparation, artifact AEC-NTS-1952-009, recovered during pretest survey, see Document 1, was recalled from Smithsonian Institution due to reported anomalous acoustic properties post-test. Artifact returned to Nevada test site May 28, 1952. Note: study facility was constructed within 50 meters of artifact storage unit. Relevance of proximity assessed post-protocol. Results follow. 30-minute exposure group, subjects 1 to 3. All subjects reported auditory experiences consistent with OP9 personnel, musical qualities, multiple tones, rhythmic structures. Mild anxiety symptoms, no serious adverse effects. Subjects released with 24-hour observation. 45-minute exposure group, subjects 4 to 6. Subject 4, male, 26, private volunteer. Subject reported flute-like sounds, 3 or 4 playing simultaneously. Hour 8 post-exposure, increasing agitation. Reported phenomenon still audible despite isolation from sight. Hour 14, subject found in latrine facility. Self-inflicted lacerations to both ear canals using REDACTED. Medical intervention successful. Subject removed from study, psychiatric hold authorized, transferred to REDACTED facility. Subjects 5 and 6, moderate anxiety, persistent perception of music for 6 to 10 hours post-exposure. Subjects report auditory phenomena diminished but did not fully cease. Released with mandatory psychiatric monitoring, weekly evaluations scheduled for minimum 6 months. 60-minute exposure group, subjects 7 to 9. Subject 7, male, 28, corporal, volunteer. Subject reported drums and flutes like native ceremony. Hour 6, severe sleep deprivation, agitation. Hour 12, subject attempted to leave facility against medical advice. Restrained, sedated. Hour 18, condition deteriorated, subject REDACTED. Transferred to psychiatric facility under heavy sedation. Current status, REDACTED. Subject 9, female, 24, airman, volunteer. Subject reported organ music, very loud, overlapping. Hour 4, acute distress, requested termination. Request denied per protocol continuation. Hour 7, subject, REDACTED, 2 lines. Medical evaluation, REDACTED. Subject survived, permanent medical discharge authorized. Subject 8, moderate symptoms, psychiatric consultation, released. 90-minute exposure group, subjects 10 to 12. Protocol modification. Following incidents with subjects 4, 7, and 9, Review Board recommended termination of 90-minute exposures. Recommendation overridden by Project Director Dr. Webb on basis of redacted. Subject 11, male, 34, technician, volunteer. Subject reported, all the instruments at once, can't distinguish individual sounds. Hour 2, subject exhibiting signs of severe psychological distress. Hour 4, subject became non-responsive to verbal commands. Hour 6, medical team entered observation chamber. Subject found redacted, 4 lines. Cause of death, redacted. Autopsy performed by Dr. Redacted, Los Alamos Medical Division. Findings, redacted, 6 lines. Notably, inner ear structures showed redacted, inconsistent with known pathological processes. Tissue samples forwarded to redacted for specialized analysis. Analysis results, redacted. Subject 10, refused exposure following Subject 11 incident. Removed from study, no adverse effects. Subject 12, study terminated before exposure. Critical finding, review of subject placement relative to artifact AEC-NTS-1952-009 reveals correlation between proximity and severity of psychological effects. Subjects exposed within 50 meters of artifact, 100% severe adverse reactions. Subjects exposed at distance greater than 200 meters during preliminary OP9 exposure, moderate symptoms only. Hypothesis, artifact may serve as amplifier or focus for acoustic phenomenon. Mechanism unknown. Recommendation, immediate termination of all exposure protocols. Artifact represents redacted, level risk incompatible with standard safety procedures. Recommend permanent isolation and classification of all related materials. Signed, Dr. Marcus Webb, Principal Investigator, Behavioral Sciences Division. Handwritten note in margin, partially legible. Webb removed from project June 10th. Carter assumes, remainder illegible. Document 6, United States Atomic Energy Commission Classification Order and Site Closure Directive. Date, June 12, 1952. Authority, AEC. Director of Security, DoD Liaison. Security classification, top secret. Subject, permanent restriction. Yucca Flat Sector 12, Project Yucca Harmonics. Effective immediately, all access to Yucca Flat Sector 12, coordinates, redacted, permanently restricted. Exclusion zone expanded to 5-mile radius. Area designated contaminated per AEC protocol, redacted. No personnel entry authorized without, redacted, level clearance and medical pre-screening. Artifact AEC-NTS-1952-009 to be sealed in, redacted, containment unit and relocated to secure storage facility, location, redacted. No further analysis authorized. Object classified top secret / redacted. Access restricted to redacted personnel only. All personnel associated with Yucca Harmonics study, N equals 27, including research staff, medical personnel, subjects, and security, reassigned to geographically dispersed postings. Mandatory psychiatric evaluation and medical monitoring for minimum 12 months. Security debriefing completed for all personnel. Non-disclosure agreements signed and filed. Acoustic phenomenon status as of this directive, ongoing. Frequency stable at 147 Hz, non-degrading. Phenomenon shows no signs of natural dissipation. Remote monitoring stations established at redacted distance. Instrumentation indicates phenomenon persists as of June 12, 1952, 58 days post-detonation. All documentation related to Yucca Harmonics archived and classified, top secret. Files sealed per executive order, redacted. Declassification review not authorized before year 2027. Cover story for site closure. Residual radiation levels exceed acceptable thresholds for personnel safety. Area quarantined pending long-term environmental assessment. Casualty Summary. Redacted. Entire section, approximately 8 lines. This directive supersedes all previous authorizations related to Yucca Flat Sector 12 operations. Signed, Redacted, Director of Security, United States Atomic Energy Commission. Stamp, declassified in part, October 15, 1997. Authority, EO 12958, Declassification Review Board. Handwritten note. Sections pertaining to artifact composition, personnel casualties, and current phenomenon status remain classified per National Security Exemption 3B. Review deferred to 2027. End of document 6. This concludes transcription of file number 1952-A-883, Project Yucca Harmonics. Total documents 6. Declassification partial. Approximately 40% of original material remains classified per national security exemptions. Box 447B returned to secure storage. Transcription complete. Archivist Daniel Hoffman, November 14, 1997, 15:47 hours.